Go ahead.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7
now
crowns.
The 7 heads, 10 horns. The 7 heads. And don't say Russians. The Greeks. The Rome itself. The Greeks. Hispaniola. Germania Major. Germania Minor. France and Hispaniola. All right. And then you got the 10 horns, which represent some of those nations. Oh, but it was also talking about the Visigoths, the Ostrogoths, the Gauls, the Vandals, the Burgundians, the Franks, the Saxons, the Lombards,
the Heruli.
But now that those are the same people back here today. It's supposed to be 10. It's based upon 10, but now there's 28 of them.
Right.
But when you do the math, you can link all them nations back together. Like the 10 horns. If you go to the EU consulate, which we always pass it all the time, it's a blue flag with 12 stars on it. The 12 stars, there's really supposed to be 10. You have Great Britain, and then you have Ireland. Ireland is a part of Great Britain. So now that's 11 stars. Then you have Hispaniola or Spain. And who came out of Spain? Portugal. So Portugal is one of them stars. So when you put Portugal and Spain together, how many stars is supposed to be there? 10 stars. Okay? And all you got to do is go to Google. You don't got to get no secret book. All you got to do is put in the EU, and then it'll give you the names, man.
Hey, when it first started, wasn't there 10 flagpoles?
Yeah.
It was 10. It was 10, but there was six. There was six nations.
6 at first, yeah.
Because I believe it was 57, 58. All the nations didn't come in as of yet.
Right.
And eventually, like in 82, 83, some more came in. Right. And like 90 something, some more came in. But then it was more than the 10. But when you do the math and you go back to the origins of all the nations, they all link back to them old ancient nations. Okay?
Yeah, and how is Satan going to have 7 heads and 10 horns? That's why we say to them other guys, they ain't supposed to be out there teaching, man.
But the guy said, watch the video. That's talking about Satan himself.
So Satan,
but you know, they do it dramatically. You know, Satan is the devil himself.
So he has,
my goodness.
he has 10 heads. Oh, 10 heads. He has 7 heads and 10 horns, right? Satan.
It's talking about, like I said, the Roman Empire, which is also mentioned in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. Matter of fact, go to Daniel, the 7th chapter, and go right to the point.
Yeah, no,
is that the 8th verse?
And that horn represents power.
7th verse.
No, horn is symbolic for power. You know?
Yep. Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. And this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
That's talking about the Roman Empire, the pagan Roman Empire. All right? Now, when you go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter, we don't got to go to it. It speaks about this statue, and it speaks about a feet with 10 toes.
Yep.
Now, Nate did a video and said that's talking about America. It's not talking about America. America's a part of it. It's talking about the NATO and the EU. All right?
Yeah, he mangled that. He said the reason why the iron and clay can't come together is because of race wars, race riots. The white man won't be able to come together with the black.
Nate's
the black
a clown.
man.
Nate's a goddamn clown. That's why he hates us, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the hell did
we got the we got the. This is not talking about America, Nate. It's talking about NATO and the EU, and America's part of NATO. You have some EU nations that are also a part of NATO.
Take notes, Nate.
So when you go into the 10 horns and the 7 heads, you say, well, the 7 heads is Rome. One of the 10 horns is Italy. But wait a minute, you said that twice. But that's how you break it down. Okay.
If I may, this is Satan's Angels Exposed by Salem Kerbin, chapter 28, the Common Market and the Trilateral Commission. On page 229, it says, Dr. David Weber, editor of Gospel Truth, observes, in 1957, 6 nations joined together in a trade agreement called the European Economic Community, or the Common Market. When that, you can't tell me that ain't Satan.
It's an ambulance, brother. It's an ambulance.
Satan's driving, yeah. Look at that.
Look at one of his horns sticking out.
It says, in 1957, 6 nations joined together in a trade agreement called the European Economic Community, or the Common Market. When the headquarters for the Common Market were erected in Brussels, Belgium, 10 flagpoles for the flags of 10 nations were erected in front of the building. This was accordance with Bible prophecy. Because remember, they only had 6 nations, but why did they erect 10 flagpoles?
And they were trying to get them other 4 to come in, and they didn't want to come in at first. And it took a number of years for them to finally come in.
That's
But
why.
now there's 28 of them.
That's why the scriptures say the Lord works on the minds of men. You know, that's a clear example.
When they sleeping.
And you know what? They know who they are. They know that they're
absolutely.
EU. They know that they know that they're that beast. You know.
The beast.
Yep. Well, that's why they added all those other different nations to offset the prophecy. You know, but like Apostle Charles said, if you go back and you look at all those groups, they all break down into European nations.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, Ireland is no different from
I
Britain.
gave you an example. I gave you 2 examples.
Yeah.
Ireland is a part of the UK. Portugal is a part of Hispaniola, or Spain.
Right.
All right.
Back in Revelation 12:3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, the great dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So now you brothers know what that dragon is. Now you know about the 7 heads and the 10 horns, what that really means.
It's a power structure. And then, I mean, it even tells you in the book of Revelation, I don't know if it went to it yet, but it even tells you what the 7 heads and the 10 horns represent
Yeah, it doesn't say Satan.
in the 17th chapter. You know?
Yeah,
But this
right.
guy somehow he got this mystical breakdown of that chapter.
So wait a minute. If you go to Revelation, the 17th chapter, is Satan going to shoot missiles on America? Huh? Go to that, brother.
Revelation 17 and
Around 12. Okay, you got to change the map. The nail ain't gonna. Esau gonna. Who the hell is that? They gonna press that button. Man, you guys are idiots, man.
hey, read the ninth.
Okay.
Read the 9th verse real quick.
All right.
9 and 10, and then jump down because it explains the Tzalak, you know.
Go ahead.
Revelation 17:9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7.
Here's the mind which have wisdom.
Khan.
All right.
The 7 heads are 7 mountains,
Khan.
on which the woman sitteth.
That's right.
And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1
Those
is.
are men.
That's it.
Those are men.
Yep.
5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come.
Oh, let's break down the 5 are falling, and 1 is, and another is not yet come. The 5 that fallen is the Greeks, the Hispaniola, France, Germania Major, Germania Minor. Who's left? The Roman Empire.
That was number 6.
That was number 6 because John the Revelator was on the Isle of Patmos writing the prophecy down, okay, in the rulership of the 6. Go ahead.
5 are fallen, and 1 is,
Rome. Go ahead.
and the other is not yet come.
Britannia. Great Britain. Go ahead.
And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
That's right.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7.
That's America. And I didn't say of the 7.
Right.
It said of the 7.
Yep.
Okay? So America came out of which one? Britain. Great Britain. Go ahead.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th,
America.
and is of the 7,
And is of the 7. Go ahead.
and goeth into perdition.
What does the word perdition mean? Destruction. Because America is going to be totally, Babylon is going to be totally destroyed. Those other European nations, are they going to be totally destroyed? No. They're going to get jacked up by the missiles. but they're not going to be. They're going to be built back up. Go ahead, Ak.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings,
Men, go ahead.
which have received no kingdom as yet.
When did they receive their kingdom? They received their kingdom. There was a treaty. It was the EEC, which is the was the European Economic Community, and then I believe it was, I forget the exact year. There was a treaty called the Treaty of Rome. Somebody look up the Treaty of Rome, and as soon as you get it, read it.
Treaty of Rome. Somebody got it?
Oh, they got it? Okay.
The Treaty of Rome.
Read now.
The Treaty of Rome. There's Wikipedia. The Treaty of Rome, officially the treaty establishing the European Economic Community.
There you go.
That's Rome. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You had what was called the EEC. Then you had what was called the Treaty of Rome, which that's Rome coming back again. When you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, and it speaks about one of the heads was wounded as to death, and behold, it came back to life. That's the Treaty of Rome. So they actually tell you, they actually giving it. If you can't see it after that, something wrong with you, man. That's Rome all over again. And hold up, what year was that? What year was that?
1950. It says 1958.
1958. So that's the Roman Empire coming back again. The pagan Roman Empire go back 2,000 years. Why would they use the Treaty of Rome? Because that's Rome coming back again, man. Go ahead.
Revelation 17 and 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
And that began around 1957, 58. Go ahead.
These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
What place is that? What place? Read it again.
And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
The water, read again.
And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest,
The waters which thou sawest, go ahead.
where the horse sitteth,
Where the horse sitteth, go ahead.
are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
What's that talking about?
America.
Babylon the Great, that great city.
Melting pot.
And he talking about the Roman Catholic Church.
God, that's right.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate.
Okay, so let's name some of the 10 whores, or the 10 whores, or the 10 horns. All right?
Yeah.
Let's name some.
Got
This is the 10 horns.
Belgium.
Belgium is one of them. Denmark is another one. Italy, which is Rome. Luxembourg, Germany, Ireland,
West Germany.
West Germany. It
England.
says that what's going to happen? Something's going to happen. Where they're going to these are the allies of the U.S. because the U.S. is a part of NATO. Give their power and strength 1 hour with the beast, right? They're going to turn against the woman. They're going to turn against this bitch. All right? So something going to happen where they're worried about them Arabs, right? They're worried about the Russians. The Russians going to be on their ass. And all their European allies is going to turn on their ass and put fire on it.
Yeah. It says 200 million missiles.
200 million.
Destroy this
They ain't talking about angels.
That's right.
I got a precept for you, a quick precept.
Let me say this. You cannot get this anywhere else but by the true men of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, also known as Great Millstone GMS. You cannot get it from Nate. You cannot get it from HODC. You cannot get it from Johanna.
That's right.
You cannot get it from the Black Consciousness community. You can only get it right here.
Right here. There's the scripture to back you up.
And the other members of a Great Millstone in the various states and countries.
The book of Obadiah, the first chapter, the 7th verse. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
Who are the men of their confederacy? Who are the men of their confederacy? We just read about it.
Yeah.
Men of their confederacy. Was it Denmark, France, Italy, Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, England, West Germany.
Yeah. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Let me read it again. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
That's right.
There is none understanding in him. What that's talking about is those missiles
Yeah.
that some of those countries are going to shoot on America.
Yep.
They have deceived because they thought they were going to have that alliance, but they're not going to have that alliance. What they're going to have is a division, and they're going to come against America and destroy it.
And what it says was that part, read that part again.
Read it from the top. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee
Allies, go ahead,
and prevailed against thee.
go ahead.
They that eat thy bread.
What does it mean, eat thy bread? They got aid. They're going to take that aid, then they're going to turn around and bust America.
Yeah.
They're bust them in the ass.
Oh, Elder Apostle Todd.
Huh?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Elder.
Let him keep walking.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, he can love too, with a little demonic ass.
Yeah, Elder Apostle Todd did a video about thy bread. The fact that these countries are sending their sons and daughters over here to learn the so-called American way, but then they don't stay in America because they can't find no good jobs. So you know what they do? They go back to their countries.
Yep.
Right?
You have a better chance of making it dead in here.
So that's a part of them eating that bread, eating their wisdom.
And it goes deeper than the European allies.
Yeah.
It goes for all the allies.